Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
So, what did I tell you? What did I tell you? What did I tell you this weekend was going to be? And dadgummit, did the NFL deliver the single greatest evening in quite a long time, to be quite frank, or weekend, I should say, in quite a long time in the NFL. I hope you enjoyed it. I didn't provide it for you. I was just saying. Yeah, we crapped the bed on our pick'ems. Whatever. Who cares? It was an awesome, awesome weekend of football. And after a 6-0 last week, we'll take the L. We went 500. It wasn't totally horrible, but we'll get into that. We got NFL, NBA, NHL, and oh, guess what? I hear there's spring football coming. Holy crap. That in the Hall of Popularity and more on this episode of DSR2. So without further ado, let's do the do that we do at DSR2. I am Scrappy at DSR House, Johnny the Mouse.
Hey, we're back here in another edition of DSR2 on this freaking cold-ass Wednesday.
God damn.
I mean, it is brutal. I mean, we're already, I think 5 or 6 below zero wind chill factors, and it's only 8 o'clock at night already. Again, I guess it's better.
Welcome to Michigan.
Yeah, I guess it's better living on the north and the East Coast because they're getting another northeaster there this weekend. So we got lots to talk about. Again, as we said, the greatest weekend ever in the NFL's history, especially in playoff-wise, you'll ever see on it. I mean, we just said it was our
obviously
favorite
that's
weekend of the year.
Obviously, that's an exaggeration.
No,
but
it's not.
By far, it's probably been the best NFL weekend in a decade at least.
Oh, at least.
So maybe more. I think when you look at the totality of the situation, right? Like it's as many games as you can pack in. I think that you could have that are elimination games that could. I don't see any way you're going to have 4 elimination games come down
to the last play
to
of the
the
game.
last play.
There's no way you can.
I mean, how it all on the same week? It just, and it's not like. It was not like 4 out of 6. It was 4 out of 4. You know, so like it's just.
Did you hear what the rating
amazing.
Numbers were for that week for the games?
No, I didn't even look into that. I never even thought about that. Gosh.
Oh my God, Buffalo, Kansas City, 43 million people watched that game. Rams Tampa, 40 million people watch that game. Green Bay Frisco, 37 million, and the low one, which was obviously Tennessee, was still like 33 million people watch that game.
It's funny because you could just see the difference when you talk about the NFL and everybody else when it comes to the ratings.
The NFL is lapping everybody right now.
Oh, it's not even close because 43 million people don't tune into anything.
No.
Like, we got the pro wrestling here in the background because I hit the DVR so I can watch it later. And these cats fight over the same 1.5 million viewers.
Yeah.
And they'll be happy to hit 1 million or 1.5 million, but usually they're like float around like 800,000. That's a live event where you can get live where I want to say where there's a little bit of value in advertising there, and they just can't. They're not. It dwarfs. Now I know when you start getting into major sports, it gets closer, but I still, like you said, they're still lapping. The NBA isn't putting out 30,000 fucking people, let alone 40,000.
Yeah, you're getting 43 million. These are hard. These are guys that hardcore fans on there that want to watch the games on there. This isn't like the spectacle that's the Super Bowl, which gets you 100 million people out there to watch it because it's a spectacle. This is people that want to watch the game.
Yeah,
they say, "Don't bother me. I'm watching the damn game."
Well, I mean, this is as close as to like a weekly episodic thing that sports has to offer is NFL, right? Because your game is every week and it's boom, 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 boom. So though they take time off essentially for half of the year, they're every week. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was an impressive weekend. They really I just don't see how you'll top this thing, and as far as putting all of it together. Like, I think you'll have better games out there over time. I think you'll have, better storylines, whatever the case may be, on an individual matchup basis. I just don't see how you can get 4 out of 4 games that are just that amazing, and really, they didn't give you any time, man. One game was done, and it rolled right into the next game.
Yeah,
and it was like
15 minutes. You
had
enough time to go get a bathroom break, grab a beverage, and get back out there because the next game was starting.
I know, and it was. And to have 40, if you're sitting at a 40 million average there for people to sit and watch that in our 30-second attention span world, I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. That just shows you that it's still king. Because I bet you look at anything that's kind of, even something that's episodic that people get behind. Like, remember, like The Walking Dead and all those crazy shows everybody really got behind. I don't think there was anybody tuning in on, for 30 million, 40 million people. So, people can DVR that stuff and watch it later. To have that many people unified and sitting in front of the television, and not be the Super Bowl was pretty impressive. But they're just trying to top themselves. I mean, I guess. I mean, who else do they have to top at this point when it comes to that particular thing? Yeah, and this Super Bowl is half as good as it could be. I mean, think about this. When you think about the teams, and we're going to break this down. We're going to break down the games and break down what's going to happen and get our picks and all that. It's going to be an NFL playoff loaded show for the most part, but table is open for whatever, guys, and I'll get the text line open for you in a minute. But it's you're with the teams that are left here in the playoffs, and it doesn't matter who makes it to the goddamn Super Bowl, you're gonna get what I would think would be a good matchup. I think when you look at who's left, I don't see anybody that's running away with this thing. These could all be good matchups. You could have upsets. You could have all kinds of stuff from here on out. With what we've already saw, that is totally on the table, no matter who makes it to the Super Bowl. And then what they've put into that halftime show enough entertainment for 6 effing halftime shows.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you look at the top tier talent that they brought in for that show and for this spectacle, this could be an epic just run for the NFL. If you look at it from this weekend going all the way forward. You don't think that they're going to be close to 40 million this weekend?
Oh God!
At some point during the broadcast, unless these games become blowouts or something.
I don't see any of these games becoming blowouts.
And I mean, we're going to get into that, but I mean, if you look at it, no, it doesn't. Just off glance, it doesn't look like it's going to be that way. So you could very well have another 40 million viewer weekend.
Yeah.
This week, and then roll into a Super Bowl that is, classically, like you said, 100 million people watching. A third of the country's tuning in. A third of the planet. What do we got? 330 million people in this country or something like that. So whatever. But it's wildly impressive from that respect for sure. So let's get into what we've seen and what we think we're going to see going forward, since we already kind of opened that can of worms. Moose, what game you want to start with?
Well, let's get into if we're going to recap everything,
We might as well run down these games, dude.
Yeah,
because
we might as well start from the beginning. The first game was the Bengals Titans on there on Saturday afternoon.
To me, I kind of had the Titans. I expected a little bit more out of that running game, and I think we got it. But Tannehill, you could not overcome Tannehill.
No,
and that is something I didn't see coming. I kind of
he melted down.
Like years ago, Miami Tannehill or whatever.
Yeah,
I would have thought that. But like he's been there and he's been pretty solid, and we were very leery of him going forward. But then we were putting praise on this cat for if you got the right stuff around him, he could do a Dilfer type run where he gives you a deep run. I mean, as long as he doesn't, beat himself and what was that?
Yeah, and again, that last pick was terrible.
Ugh.
I mean, dude, where are you throwing it to?
Ugh. I mean, it made for entertainment, and now we got our new wave. I mean, he's Joe Namath, but just not Namath. I mean, he's like Joe Burrows with his whole Hollywood.
He's got the swag.
He's got the whole thing going, and so we got him in here. So I mean, I'm not mad, but come on, man. Like, how do you? And what do they do going forward with that? I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, how do you go forward? You just cough it up to a bad day?
I think that if Tennessee's going to get over that hump and try to get a Super Bowl, they're going to have to get a new quarterback. Tannehill's not going to be the long-term. He can't be the answer. They're going to, if they really want to compete especially as you look at that AFC right now, dude, they're going to have to get a top-notch quarterback.
Well, and that's going to be the issue too, because there's going to be top-tier quarterback play throughout that division, and you're going to be playing these quarterbacks twice a year, each of them, and that could be problematic if you don't have somebody there to go to war with, so to speak. But I don't know who the hell you think you're bringing in to Tennessee.
They're going to have to make a trade, maybe.
I mean, what are you going to do? You get in on the Russell Wilson sweepstakes?
Russell?
I mean, I still think Aaron's probably going to come back to Green Bay. I don't know where he's going to go. I don't
think so. I think he's gone. I think he's pretty much I think Green Bay may just say, screw it. We're going to just do a rebuild.
Well, they might. Yeah, they might. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Dude, what are you going to do? We'll get into that game, too, because what are you going to do with that guy?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we'll break down that game, but.
I mean, they can get a still King's Hall for him.
Yeah, I guess.
Somebody will pony up and be stupid and give him too much.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. Is Tennessee that candidate?
Or Denver?
Yeah, I know, but what's he going to Denver for? To get murdered?
Yeah. That offensive line's terrible. I don't think they're quite there yet. I think I would personally just try to draft a younger quarterback and just try to take
you don't think
chances.
he wants you don't think he wants to stay maybe somewhere where it's not so difficult?
Well, they got the receivers there in Denver. They've got a nice running game. They just don't have an offensive line. They got a pretty decent defense, too.
Yeah, I know, but look at the other teams that they're gonna be competing
Yeah,
with.
in the AFC West.
Right.
You know,
Do you want to go there? I don't think he wants to go there.
no.
Because
Pittsburgh?
maybe that's probably his best spot.
Because who's Pittsburgh got? Mason Rudolph and Haskins?
Yeah, well, they're going to be looking for sure.
Oh, yeah, they need a quarterback in a worse way.
Yeah. That would be the only landing spot for him. That's why I feel like he more and more, this is all going to.
Or does he go, or does, who knows, with Vegas? I mean, they could pull something stupid on there and just let Carr go or trade Carr and then bring in Rodgers and
Dude, they got too
Adams.
much going on with the front office. And
They don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, so that ain't happening. That's not happening. If this is a year from now, if you fast forward a year,
Who knows? He
then
may
that's
just
different.
hang it up, knowing Rodgers. I mean, he's such a prickly bastard anyway.
That guy sucks. And he went on the shittiest podcast and sports podcast with Pat McAfee, where you can go there and land softly and have a nice warm place, a nice bosom to lay in and act like a douche. The douche bosom.
You know why you lost? You know why everybody rooted against you? Because you're a douche.
You know why? Because you haven't won anything.
No, he hasn't won in 10 years.
I don't want to fucking hear it.
He
hasn't
got lucky
won
that one
anything.
year. You know what? I tried to get joke with somebody's Green Bay. Oh, I said, dude, you haven't won since basically. You know what? The last two Super Bowls you won in, you had a guy from Michigan there. You haven't won basically since Desmond Howard left and Charles Woodson left. Because those are the reason you won those two damn Super Bowls. Were two Michigan guys, two Michigan Heisman Trophy winners.
Yep.
Well, I mean, Desmond was the reason
true.
they won that first one on there with
Yep.
Hunter because he won the MVP.
Yep.
And the same thing with Howard. I mean, with Woodson, he won the. I don't know, he got that huge pick.
That pick
six, and that's when he got hurt.
Yep.
Dude, you would have won that. You would have beat Pittsburgh if it wasn't for Woodson.
Yep.
What have you won? You haven't even been to another Super Bowl.
Nope. This is a what have you done?
How many times do you have home field advantage in Green Bay and you utterly flame out?
I mean, the last 2 years in a row.
Yeah. Last 2 years. I mean, every time.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when they had that game with the Giants? When
The only time they got anywhere when they won, they were a wild card.
Right. 2000, the 11 season, so 12 when they had the home field advantage again, and then New England, I mean, the Giants come in there as a wild card,
Yeah.
and they lose.
Well, yeah, waxed them. Sure.
So don't give me. I mean, dude, you moved down the field like nothing to it, and then you just went.
All right. Well, no, this is what they do. They
mean,
go through the regular. He goes through the regular season. They're great and whoop de woo, and they get to the postseason and they get fucking flat out murked.
You know what's the kicker is? Here's the funny thing is, under both Arizona and Green Bay basically worked the same after they lost to the Lions. And Minnesota lost the Lions and didn't make the playoffs and got rid of their coach and their general manager. Yay! I mean, but yeah, I mean, we look at JoJo under, dude, again, with Burrows and Chase and Higgins, that team, and Mixon. That team's got, I mean, they're basically.
Oh, there's a lot of talent.
They're maybe.
At least it's entertaining. Even if they were to blow up, at least they'd blow up.
You know what? They're.
There's a lot of
this
talent
draft
there.
under, they get a couple offensive linemen to protect Burrows because
Sure.
the defense is underrated.
Dude, how do you get sacked 9 times and win?
Yes.
How do you get sacked 9 times and win and then just get up and go, yeah, I got all of my guys, yeah. No, dude, these guys let you get straight up murked all night long, and you just get up and we're like, whatever.
Yeah.
But honestly,
If they protect him, oh my God. They've got the best receiving core in the NFL right now.
Well, we talk about it all the time that any quarterback in this league can be viable and can win if given time in the pocket.
Right.
And this dude's cutting you up with no time, and he's getting smacked all over the place. Imagine if you give him time, the dissection that he'd put together.
Yes. He was sacked 9 times and still put up 28 for 37 for 348.
You know, everybody that's mad about the portal in college football wouldn't even know who this guy is if there was no portal, because he'd have been sitting on the pine the whole time.
Yeah.
He'd have never transferred over there.
No.
He'd have never won a national championship. You'd have never known who Burrows was. He would have never got drafted this high. You know who he'd have been? He'd have been Tom effing Brady.
Yes.
Reincarnate. He'd have got drafted in the 5th round by some team who didn't even know who he was. And then when he had to come in because of injury, he would have smoked the whole damn league. He'd have murked your ass.
Yeah, we're talking with Jamar Chase, and he says,
Again.
Jamar Chase, he said, Les Miles said, "I'm not even good enough to play wide receiver for LSU." When he went there, went there, of course he lost against Canada's freshman year, and
right.
What the?
What? I don't know what these guys saw.
What again, dude?
What were they
did you
missing?
again? Because when we saw Coach O was there and JoJo was there, Jamar Chase was a monster.
Yeah.
Him and Justin Jefferson, and he goes there and it's like, oh yeah, he's got a bad preseason. And all of a sudden he's like, dude, he was the best rookie receiver, and it wasn't even close.
All right. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm missing something.
I don't know what I'm missing. I mean, I'm
entertained by what I'm seeing.
Les, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
That's why they call you the Mad Hatter, because you're insane.
Well, it's one of those things where, like, I feel like if I'm the smartest guy in the room, then we're all in trouble, right? That's kind of like a phrase I always joke about. But that's what it is, dude. Yeah. If you're supposed to know football and I'm seeing this and you're not, dude, you guys are screwed.
And again, what the hell is Ohio State thinking? I mean, they let him go and you bring in Justin Fields. Dude, he goes to LSU, wins a Natty title, wins the Heisman, and then he gets drafted. Look what he does since he's been in Cincinnati.
All right.
What the hell is wrong with you? I mean, Justin Fields looked great and everything last year, but dude, look at JoJo.
Yeah.
Trust me, Justin Fields, I mean, hopefully he gets developed, but again, I'm not banking on it because the Bears have never developed.
Well, no, they don't know. They're not. They don't even know what a quarterback is.
They better get the right coach in there, but
yeah, they don't know anything about quarterbacking. But yeah, it's one of those things to me that it's just like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. You just a firestorm of things to make that whole situation pan out. But I'm going to enjoy watching Cincinnati going forward. And I'm not even a Cincinnati fan.
Then you got a rookie kicker with freaking ice water in his veins going, walking after he takes his practice kick. We're going to the AFC title game, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Boom. Yeah. It's a 52-yarder like nothing.
Yeah. Well, okay, so the confidence borderlining arrogance that everybody loves about Joe Burrows is obviously
catchy.
Yes. It's something that's going around the locker room apparently, because yeah, for him to go up to that guy and say of all people, and say, hey, looks like we're going to the championship game, boys, and say that to that quarterback, that guy with that level of confidence, and do all that, it's just got to be permeating the room.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if the kicker's doing that stuff. And yeah, he was a stone cold killer.
And remember when they hired? I mean, the head coach, and we're like, "What the hell, dude? Zach Taylor, man, what the hell are you doing? You're hiring why? Because you're cheap." And all of a sudden, look what they've done.
Yeah.
I guess they got caught lightning in a bottle with Zach Taylor, and of course, you knew when they got JoJo. I'm like, dude, I love JoJo, and you get Jamar Chase, and you got T. Higgins. You're like, okay, man, all of a sudden, but yeah, Zach Taylor, they caught lightning in a bottle.
I think what they caught was it is a lightning in the bottle situation where you have the right personalities all together in the right locker room.
Yes.
And there's obvious talent here.
And it's feeding on each other.
And the monster's creating itself. And going forward, if they can get a couple
offensive linemen, and maybe another pass rusher on it. Because remember, they lost their best pass rusher in the injury.
Then
this team could be scary.
Yep.
I mean, they're going to rule that AFC North.
Right.
And then on there. But yeah, I mean, that's what he said is, look at the AFC, man. You got the top 4 young quarterbacks in the league, and they're all in the same freaking conference.
Yeah,
they're going to be beating each other up forever.
Yeah,
I mean, this is just going to be one of those on their playoffs going, oh, hell with the NFC. I'm watching AFC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, on there, hopefully on there. So we got that.
The North and the East and the NFC are already hot garbage anyway. I don't see a whole lot of improvement there.
Oh, God, no.
So, that's what's going to happen. It's ultimately going to be an AFC kind of dominant league when you look at matchups. When you, like you said, when you
the
come to
North
the playoffs.
and the East and the South may turn into hot garbage too.
Yeah, I mean
it's going to be the West right
yeah.
now.
Yeah,
it's only going to be really 2 teams.
Yeah,
Frisco and Rams.
Yeah, and Frisco feels like they're kind of just making stuff happen. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like they're really doing what they want to do. They're kind of just doing things that they kind of have to do
what they got to do.
Yeah, and they're scratching and clawing to get by, and it's working for them. But
as the second game on Saturday night there in the cold on the frozen tundra Lambeau Field, 49ers win against the Packers. 49ers win, and they don't even score an offensive touchdown.
I know.
They block. I mean, again, they block the field goal at the end of the first half. They keep it within a touchdown. They end up blocking the. Within 10 points. Yeah, within basically to keep it 7-0 touchdown. Then they scored a field goal. And the block punt. I mean, that block punt. I'm going, where the hell's the ball? I mean, the ball went straight up. I'm thinking, did it go out of bounds or what? Because why isn't it coming down yet? And everybody's looking around like, where's the ball? Oh, there it is. Hey, touchdown.
Yeah. No, it was blocked so clean, and it was just, yeah. You just don't see it. Like, how does somebody get in that clean, that far in, and get it blocked without, like, jumping? It's just, you just don't see it that often. So,
yeah.
Because all you got to do is rub a dude, and that's it. They can't get there. But
I mean, you lose a quarterback with torn ligaments in his throwing hand on there, and
yeah.
how the hell? I mean, dude, you should have won this game. You should have won this game going away.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. I mean, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but didn't.
No.
Is what it boils down to. So.
Yeah, Frisco's defense wins that one in special teams. That's what it shows you on there. It's like. And again, well, I love to talk to a Packer fan and see what are they done with Aaron Rodgers? Are they just saying, you know what, I'm fed up with the diva. Screw it. Let's just burn it to the ground and just rebuild.
And that's the thing. Like, you have a guy that's supposed to be able to command an offense and score, right? Like, that's what he's supposed to be able to do. He's been complaining about not having any weapons, but then, you know what? I got news for you. As much as you think you own Chicago, the Niners own your ass just as much or more, dude.
Right.
Look at the record. He gets smoked against the Niners, and they haven't had.
Yeah, the Niners don't have the talent.
They're almost always a patchwork team.
Yes.
So
don't give me. I don't have any weapons. You have a top 5 running game on there. You have a great running back with on it with Aaron Jones. You've got a huge power back with AJ Dillon. You've got possibly the worst case scenario, top 3 receiver in Devontae Adams, and you have a top 5 defense.
And I'm going to put a little caveat on this thing too, because you have what I would consider, and you could make an argument otherwise, maybe in Seattle or something. I'm going to make an argument that you have the best home field advantage in all of professional sports.
Yes.
With Lambeau Field. And you, in most of these scenarios that we're talking about, not some, not one or two, but most, if not all of them really, of these scenarios, you've had that advantage.
And you squandered it every playoff year.
Every single time. And it's just wild how you can kind of be so like arrogant and cocky and pompous about every single thing, and then, really haven't won anything in a decade.
No.
He hasn't won anything in a decade. In a win now, what have you done for me lately, league? You are whining, complaining about everybody else, and you shit the bed in this spot every single time.
Yeah.
You can't right now. You have left a legacy of not being able to win the big one unless you have every single thing right for you. Everything.
Right.
As far as all the player personnel around you, the situation, whatever. You're actually probably better off on the road, which is dumb.
Yeah, because
when they won, they were a wild card.
Yeah, they were on the road to win the division or go into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. Our road team, and again, they got lucky because Woods did a pick 6, and that's the reason they beat Pittsburgh.
Right. So I don't know, man. I mean, whatever. But for me, I think Aaron Rodgers this year lost stock. I feel like his stock went down.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's just my opinion, and it may be it might be a dumb one, but it's just from what I saw from this, and it's an accumulative effect, right, Moose? This isn't just this week. Like he did this exact same thing last year.
The president and everything else. Like, what the hell, dude? Are you having a meltdown or what?
He is one of those, like, he's just caught up in his, crazy whatever.
Might as well kiss that. You ain't getting that Jeopardy gig. That's gone. They're not going to give it to you.
Oh,
now.
yeah, no way. No way.
Your girlfriend's going to dump your ass too.
Well, this is the issue now. He's getting to the point where he's burning so many bridges that, like, you get into the thing we talked about with the, in our pregame about the Hall of Fame, you piss off the right people and you don't get in the club. And so, like, what are you going to do? You're going to continue to act like a clown? And no, like, it's let me know how that works out for you long term.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, getting people at Green Bay on there, they've gotten lucky because they've had essentially 30 years of premier quarterback play.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They got lucky.
They're one of like 2 teams maybe that had a succession plans that worked.
Yeah,
in recent history,
I think Indianapolis because
yeah.
they got lucky with Manning, and then they got
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck.
But those, I mean, there's very few of those succession plans that work like that.
They don't.
I know. So, I don't know. He's just a spoiled brat diva. Like, I don't know what to say.
I mean, Frisco was that one where they had that period of Steve Young until the concussions got his on it. But yeah, well, don't worry about it, Aaron Rodgers. You got plenty of time now to study up on your immunization there.
Yes, he can work on his vaccination science. Yes, he can sit on his shitter with his iPhone. That's probably the extent of any research you'll do. He'll go to Infowars.com and get all his fucking research. So to me, that's just, when you start doing that goofy stuff, it's, you lost me.
Yeah.
You lost me.
Again, it shows you on there that Kyle Shanahan is still the best play caller.
Well, he's very adaptable. He's what you call a flex coach, like a mofo.
He'll just take what's working and just go by what's going on that day.
Yeah, he can
just change things on the fly.
Yeah, it's like he's got a little something for everything in his arsenal, and so that really opens him up to just he's a really flexible coach, man, and he's able to get the best out of all these guys. Which this is the key to this. You have to know what everybody's good at.
Yes.
In order to kind of delegate and get things in the right place. And he's very, very good at that. Like, there's a lot of players, a lot of personnel, a lot of personalities, a lot of things going on as being the general manager of your team, because that's essentially what you are. And the guy murders it. He really does. He knows what everybody's really good at, and it doesn't matter. As a player, as players, you're always going, yep, next man up. You just got to be ready. Just stay ready. You ain't got to get ready. And that's what all 53 guys are going to do, whether they start or not or play or not. But when you start getting into certain things, I don't know. It's just it's pretty impressive that he's able to deal with as many issues at some key positions and just kind of change what they do and to fit that. And that's to me, that's why he gets the credit that he does. And maybe they need to get a better team kind of built around there a little bit. Hopefully their quarterback situation will improve or whatever. But and probably a couple other things. But if he's got a team like the Rams, I mean, he's gonna look like a genius too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know everybody likes McVay as a young, great coach, and he is. But imagine,
if Shanahan had a
talent level team like that.
Oh God,
the dynamics with that team, because you've got multiple dynamics on defense and multiple dynamics on offense, right. and your special teams is really good. So like. You're talking about a 3-phase like build of a team, and that's kind of why they have to win, which we'll get into them in a little bit. But they really got all their pieces in this team right here, right now. And gosh, if he was coaching that team, I could only imagine what he would pull off. Not taking anything away
from McVay,
or that he would do any better or worse or whatever. I'm just saying the being able to have that kind of talent level with some consistency throughout the year, I could only imagine what this guy could come up with. It's the same thing. So I wanted him to get his team and get them and have a team that's healthy and field them, because just consistency will help him be able to. Because if he can get that much in short amount of time with guys that are, then imagine what he could do if he's got time to work his.
If Frisco can make it through a whole season there and say get to the playoffs with everybody intact on there,
or at least 90%, yeah. And because it just feels like they've been a MASH unit for like 4 years.
I know, and they still win.
I know. They win just enough to get in and piss people off.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? Guess who they dispatched this time? And you can get mad at me over that Boys in the Hood meme I posted.
Loved it.
It's amazing.
Loved it.
It was epic.
That's what I had to say. You're going to get cat.
Yeah.
All you needed was to make sure they had one with Kyle. Cat, for Joey or Nick Post out there. Cat.
I'm telling you. Oh, man. Just too silly. So
yeah. You look on there, what they do on there. I mean, Frisco runs the ball and plays great. They put pressure on the quarterback like nobody else out there with that front seven on there. If Frisco can ever get a secondary and get, basically stay healthy. I mean, no matter what they can do on there, on it. So we got, and then we got the first game of Sunday was the Rams and Tampa. And holy crap. I mean, we thought, wow, Jesus Christ. I mean, talked about this game, and then you got.
Tom Brady doing Tom Brady things. When they were down and everybody was joking and whatever, and then all of a sudden things changed, and it wasn't so damn funny no more, was it?
No.
And I'm like pacing the living room going, what am I watching? Am I watching this again? Is this really going to happen again? This is going to happen again? I'm going to be mad if this happens again. Not that I don't want Tom Brady to break every record and do all this crazy stuff, and because I like to witness greatness and see things that you'll never see again. So, I don't mind all that, but it was one of those things where it's like, is this really what's happening?
If Cam Akers doesn't shit the bed and fumble it twice under, this game's a blowout. Especially that one where he fumbled at the 1 yard line.
Oh my God!
They scored that. They go up by 30 points. I mean,
I'm done with this Stafford can't win the big games nonsense.
Yes,
I'm done with that.
You
lose credibility if that's your take.
Yeah, don't give me that crap anymore because he had it where it was like, okay, it's on there. Well, we'll get it on there, and he's like, fuck this, man. Boom. And again, I love the fact that in his press he goes, "Oh, I love to be able to pull the soul out of somebody." And he did. He hit that 44-yarder to Cooper Kupp as times when he was like, "Oh yeah, we just got to get a field goal." Yeah, I'm going to make sure we get boom.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit him in stride.
Yep.
They're lucky he didn't break it for a touchdown.
Absolutely. Getting my mic all tightened up.
So don't give me Stafford on it, dude. Stafford carried that team on his back and won that game.
Yep. I was about to say he did one of those things that you guys said he only can do against crappy teams.
Yeah.
So I'm done. I'm done listening to it. He did it against the GOAT, and he overcame his team's foils.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. What else do you want from this guy?
They had 4 fumbles.
Right.
4.
What do you want from this guy?
And he still comes out there and goes, boom.
He still had 328 yards.
366 yards.
366 yards and 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But he had something like that.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns passing and did the goal line where he ran it himself.
Yeah.
You don't tell me he didn't want to win that damn game in the worst way.
And then watching that everything come unglued, because that's what it felt like, right? You're doing the right things. Like handing off the ball, insulting the clock was the right thing, but
yes.
You just couldn't hold on to the effing ball all of a sudden. And so it's just one of those kind of things that's like, oh my gosh, and he had to have been freaking out.
Like, what the fuck?
What is going on here? What do I got to do? But in the end, he played his game, I mean, pretty much to perfection, and they were able to get away with him. But that's what happens when you're in there against the GOAT, dude. You just don't know what this guy's going to pull off. If you give him an inch, he will take every bit of it and then that whole mile after. So, and it was reminiscent of, I felt like I was on the other side of that Super Bowl when me and you were.
Because we both said Rams are going to win. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh my god, I mean, it was like it was like deja vu. I'm like, what the hell?
And I felt like I was on the other side
And
of it.
then they stopped. I'm like, okay, again, we can. I'm like, all right, they're going to go to overtime. And all of a sudden, they get they tie, the Rams tie it up, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, what are they going to do? Just play for overtime? And all of a sudden, Stafford's like, fuck that, we ain't going to overtime.
No, yeah, and after, didn't it come off of like?
Then he ran 45 yards down the field, make sure he get up there to spike the ball before because they were out of timeouts.
Right. Well, didn't the play just before that they wasn't it a sack or something like that, or I can't remember what it was, and he just got up and didn't care, and then 2 dimes down the field,
boom, boom,
boom, boom. One on the sidelines, one down the middle.
Yeah, down the middle. And he runs his ass up there to make sure, okay, we're going to spike it. Boom.
Yeah.
See?
He didn't.
Ref got the ball.
Dallas, Dak, pay attention to what happened.
Run up there, make sure the ref gets the ball, get it, spike it, done.
Yes. A lesson learned, you idiots. But yeah, that's, hey, I mean, it is what it is. It was an outstanding game from top to bottom for me.
Yeah.
Because you had that, like, it's kind of like the reason, I hate to go back to the pro wrestling thing, but it's the same reason why you watch that or any story. There's a dip and a valley and a comeback. And that's what it felt like. It's like, okay, you're getting this good, this vibe, this game's going well for one team. Or maybe you're feeling the dread of getting blown out, and then all of a sudden now your team's coming back. Or you're the other guys, and you're like, oh, my God, they're coming back, and he's done this before. And so it doesn't matter what side you're on. That drama, that build, that crescendo was there. That roller coaster ride was there. And this is on the heels of some of these other games. And it was just a sensory overload weekend for football fans.
I wonder if they'd love to see that, in that huddle there. If it's like, oh shit, man, what are we gonna do? And all of a sudden, Stafford would be like, "Fuck it, we got this.
Yeah,
I got this. Don't worry about it. Don't you understand? I'm that fucking Stafford. It's comeback, fourth quarter. I can do this. Trust me, I've done this before."
Yeah. Well, and that's what I kind of wonder. He probably says it in more a Stafford-esque way, where he kind of comes in and goes, guys, back when we played Cleveland, and my throwing arm was a noodle.
Oh, his throwing arm was good. His non-throwing
arm
was a noodle.
Yeah. My non-throwing arm was a noodle, and I had like broken ribs or some nonsense. Didn't he have a bunch of like?
He had a broken clavicle.
Yeah,
or
something. And I just basically just willed us down the field.
Get me out there. I can throw the ball. I can fucking throw the ball. Exact words.
Yes. I should have probably been, by today's standards, they would have never let him out. They'd have took his helmet.
They weren't going to let him out. Yeah, he's like, give me my fucking helmet. I'm going out there. You're like, fuck you. I'll give you the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I mean, to me, that's where I knew he was a good quarterback, but I knew what was happening here. The same thing that happened to Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson. I already know. And if we ever get any other talent in here that's
transcendental.
It'll be the same problem. He will never ever achieve anything. They will always blame him or discredit or whatever the case may be, and it'll go unnoticed, one or the other. But yeah, they just don't. I don't know. But yeah, he was not the problem here in Detroit, guys. Just in case you were curious. Hopefully all that's been cleared up for you, because he handled business.
Yeah.
And what can you say? The GOAT, getting to the end of his career, I imagine he'll be back one more year. I think he wants to make it to 45 and kind of hit that benchmark where very few athletes have gone. There's you got a couple of players. I think you got a couple of baseball players maybe. But there's not a whole lot of cats that make it to 45, and there definitely isn't any that play at a high level.
He's 45. He led the league in passing yards and touchdowns.
Right. So I think he'll get one more year in, and then that'll be a wrap, no matter what. But I'm going to enjoy whatever we get out of him, I guess. But it was nice to see Stafford be the one to kind of I don't know, knock off the GOAT this year.
Yeah.
It was just cool. And hopefully the Scrappy Damas prediction, as we call it now these days anymore, because of the one effing time I was able to predict a Super Bowl matchup in our preseason dumb, goofy gimmick, and I've got one still alive in the Rams, but I'd like to see him win it, to be honest. I'd kind of like to see him go. I don't know.
Well, I'd like to see,
Just me.
I wouldn't mind seeing him win it. Plus, if we could, again, that's another little thing, we could just stick a little needle in Aaron Rodgers a little bit more, too.
Well, I also, well, I kind of told you this is what was going to happen, right? Like that pick that we got from them is nothing.
No.
Because it was going to be, I was like, well, you're going to get the 30th pick.
Well, it might be the 32nd pick. Who
Yeah.
knows? So we'll see on that. So. But yeah, as great as that game was, and then frickin' the Sunday night capper. Holy Jesus! I was emotionally exhausted.
Well, see,
And
that's
we
the
said
whole
it was
thing.
going to be. We said that's going to be the game of the weekend.
Yes.
And did we know it's like, oh my God, a weekend of just glorious, wonderful football, and then you get this on top of it?
That's kind of where it was for me.
Jesus.
Like, by the time it was done, I was so, like you said, I was so overly stimulated and exhausted from it that I couldn't sleep.
Yes.
It was like, oh my God, I'm so spent. I can't believe what it just did to my whole body and the inside. And now, like, I have to go back to normal before I can get anywhere near sleep.
Yeah.
It
It
was
like when it was basically, we knew it was like, okay, this could be like that Rams KC Monday night game where you just go, holy shit.
yeah,
But it was playoffs.
it was amazing.
I mean, I feel I feel terrible for Buffalo.
I do.
Well, I feel terrible for Josh Allen.
Yes.
Because you and me could have coached that defense better for those last 13 seconds.
That's ultimately kind of what it is. Like, I don't feel, that's kind of, like you said, I feel bad for Josh Allen because he did everything he needed to do to win, and that defense let him down.
Yes.
And guys, this overtime rule nonsense and everybody getting all mad, like, I don't even want to hear it. I just don't.
Stop him. You had 13 seconds to stop him in regulation.
Right.
Why are you playing off the ball like that? Why are you letting him in the open in the middle? Because they're going to just do it. Dude, jam them at the line. And if they burn you, they burn you. So what? But you jam in the line, they lose that 4 seconds.
I jam them up at the line because even if
then they can't get, because they're putting the pass right. Then they're not going to be able to get those passes off.
Well, yeah, because I don't even care if I get the penalty.
No.
Because so what? You get a 10-yard penalty or whatever.
Well, no, it's a 5-yard.
5-yard penalty. Okay.
So what?
So what? I've wasted valuable time.
Yes.
I'll do it again.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Hey, Josh Allen did everything he could. Okay, we're going to win. Go on, come on, there's take the lead, and we're only giving him 13 seconds to go.
Bills Mafia, we love you guys. You guys are, and this is from Detroit, who we consider ourselves like really good fans. But Bills Mafia is by far the best fan base in all of sports right now.
Yes.
Because of what they do, their enthusiasm, and then to which they have to deal with to get
Their heart's broken like this.
this. And then, God, you know what? I had to go freeze my balls off for this. Like, if you think about it, I mean, they go through
Yes.
this nonsense in Buffalo. So you freeze your balls off all year, and then this is what you get.
You go to KC, which was cold there too. But yeah, I mean, again, dude.
So, no, but Buffalo games are brutal.
Oh, yeah, because it's like going to be like, yeah, if they would have won this weekend, it's going to be like 0 at kickoff.
Right. So, like,
With a foot of snow.
So they go through a lot just being fans, and they are just awesome.
And again, Kansas City, what the hell were you doing not covering Gabriel Davis? He killed you single-handedly.
There's always a bugaboo, right? Like, the problem is why didn't you make adjustments?
Yeah.
That's what bothers me, right? Like, there's always going to be somebody that's going to burn you, that's got
They were doing the same. I mean,
But,
cut in, basically,
dude,
you know what? He's going to base in there and cut inside, and you're going to hit that inside shoulder, and boom, he's there.
if he can't handle it, if you got somebody that can't deal, then you got to scheme to handle it. I see in-game adjustments are an issue there, but I mean, whatever, they pulled it off in the end.
But, tackle of the day, Stephon Diggs on that fan.
Yeah.
I know, but yeah, I feel so. I mean, again, I would just watch him like, holy crap. I mean, you were like, oh, and you just go, what the hell, man? I mean, but it was just like a game where like I was an emotional wreck, and I had nothing vested in this.
Yeah, nope. It was just an entertaining game, but it's what you want, right? You get the offense, the back and forth offense. It came down to the end. You had the overtime situation, blah blah blah. I just don't want to hear about the overtime thing. It's dumb. No. You can't have a 4-hour football game or 5-hour football game. You can't do any of these crazy things that they've put out there. As far as, to me, you had almost every single game. There's a situation where I can say, well, why didn't you make one play here, and then we don't have to have this conversation. Yeah. So don't give me that. You both came in under the same set of rules.
Right.
This happened. This very same Kansas City was on the opposite end of this very same thing.
Yeah.
And they lobbied the NFL to change the overtime rule. And now guess what song they're singing now? Oh, glad they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Well, no shit, Sherlock.
Lucky, I mean, yeah, because
so it only matters when it matters to you.
Right. Because if KC doesn't score a touchdown in overtime and they have to settle for a field goal, they're losing that game because they're not stopping Buffalo.
No.
Buffalo's going to come down and score a touchdown.
Yep.
Josh Allen basically almost single-handedly won that game on it. With those last tries under where he was just physically willing running out there, basically trying to run out there, get yardage under, get out of bounds so they can get a shot on this.
Sure.
It was one of the best games I've ever seen. It was it was just like, holy crap.
Yeah, it was impressive. It was fun. Like I said, it had all the elements that you want. You got the kind of back and forth offensive action. You had defensive plays to keep it entertaining.
The only game I would say is comparable, I mean, in the playoffs and everything would have been, and again, I'm old, man, so I'll tell you, was like back in like 82 was the San Diego-Miami game.
Yeah, see, I couldn't even.
But it went three overtimes. They missed because they were kicking field goals on there.
Sure.
They were missing field goals, but it went 3 overtimes. Literally, Kellen Winslow Sr. literally had to be helped off the field because he was physically exhausted.
That's insane.
He was just
dehydrated and everything.
He was just done.
Yep.
But this game was like, holy crap. I mean, it was just like, wow.
Yeah, I just think it was.
And a shout out to the Chiefs on there for basically donating all that money also to the Buffalo Children's Hospital.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm gonna go with the whole code of honor in the world of sportsmanship, and for Mahomes immediately after that game was done to run over to Josh Allen and kind of say, hey, buddy, you played great. You're going to get us next time. Like, don't even worry about it. Like,
oh, yeah.
He went over and kind of felt bad for him, too. And that was the first guy he went to. So it's just one of those things where, like, I don't know, good vibes, beget good vibes. And that game, even though someone had to lose, that's the unfortunate situation. You can't have a tie in a playoff game. And everybody kind of handled it with class and dignity, I think, really well. And I feel bad for Buffalo fans. I feel bad for Josh Allen. But for the defense and the coaching scheme and some of the things that kind of went on in game, defensively especially, I mean, that's just, you just weren't better in those areas. And in the end, it cost you. So I don't feel bad in that respect. But, like you said, it's kind of like one of those things where if Stafford ended up losing that game, what can you say to the guy? Like, I feel bad. You did everything you needed to do, and and they couldn't stop nothing. They kept fumbling the ball and everything else. You're trying to sulk away the clock. So if it had happened there, and Brady completed the comeback there, we'd have been saying the same thing for Stafford. I feel bad that it happened, but I mean, like, ultimately, you guys got to make an effing play. Right. And so that's what happened here.
And then Andy Reid goes to his second 4th straight conference championship.
Yes, because he did it with another team as well.
Yes, he did it with the Eagles 4 straight years as well.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what he does. It's the key is how long can he do it before his message gets worn thin. I think the good thing about what he's got going on is I don't think he's going to wear out on Patrick Mahomes.
No.
I think those guys have a great relationship, and that's not going to be a situation.
And again, when he leaves on there, I think Andy's like, I'm done. I'll be done.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere else.
Yeah.
This is it. When he's done, he'll be done and walk off, go to the Hall of Fame, go down probably on his fishing boat wearing his Tommy Bahama shirts and do some fishing and shit.
Yeah. So, the only thing that gets him out of there is if, like you said, Mahomes leaves, he retires. Health, maybe he retires.
Yeah.
Or they cut him loose and he doesn't. I don't see him going anywhere else, but I don't see him cutting him loose. I mean, I don't see him going out there and just totally crapping the bed as a coach and them saying, "Oh, we got to replace Andy Reid."
I mean, the only thing that's going to hurt the Chiefs eventually is the salary cap's going to hurt them.
Yes, and there's going to have to. You know what? And I think management and ownership is smart enough to realize that there's going to be a limit to what he can do as a coach if they're limited on resources. So they have to do their job as well. And if they are unable to move around and there's just things that they're just going to have to kind of wait out, then they're also going to have to kind of put that moratorium. And I just think Andy Reid has built up too much goodwill that it would be even a thing to worry about, right? Like if they go through lean times because of the lack of talent and they're winning 9 games or whatever, like they'll live with that.
Yeah.
Until they get it straightened out. If you've got Andy Reid and Mahomes, I think you've got potential to upset anybody at any time. So, so we'll just kind of see how that plays out. But that's really the playoff review last weekend, guys. If you had some other plans or someone in your world put you in a situation where you had to do something else besides watch football during this few weeks here, they just don't love you because you should have been at home watching not only the first round, which is kind of but this one and the next one for sure.
My better half watched it with me the entire weekend.
Good.
And she's
Good.
like, she was rooting for Kansas City, and all of a sudden she goes, "Oh, looks like they're going to lose." And she walked out. I said, "You better get back in here because they just tied it up." She goes, "You got to be kidding me." I said, "No." So she runs back in and watches overtime. She's like, "Holy crap."
That's awesome. There's cats. I heard some cats got caught up in wedding dates and had to make some adjustments, and shit ended up on this weekend. And
it's like, you're getting married in the fall or whatever, and like I had a buddy of mine, one of his roommates in college, him and his fiance were both Michigan alumni. Their wedding date was the day of Michigan State.
That's so stupid.
And he goes, "What the hell's wrong with you? You're both alumni. What the fuck's wrong with you people?"
Oh my goodness.
He goes, of course, everybody that's at the wedding party is standing at the bar because they got a TV because they're like, "Oh yeah, that's great, whatever."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, whatever. Oh, jeez. That's the one thing about devices nowadays. You can stream anything.
Now you're just like, everybody be sitting there at their phones like all the guys.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm not getting married there. No down there.
No, Moose. Well, this is the great thing about you. I don't have to worry about you. Like when I got the save the date card, I'm like, oh, I know it's not. There's
nothing going on.
There's absolutely nothing sports related going on this day. I guarantee it.
Planned. I'm like, okay, yes. When is it going on? July. There's nothing going on.
There's nothing. And so, yeah, I know that for a fact, so I don't have to worry about it. But I do. Anytime I see those cards come in, I'm like, oh, wait, what's the date? Am I saving it? Because I might not be saving it. It might already be booked.
Yes.
I need to look and see. It might be too late. Not that I don't want to be there, but I don't want to be there. No. But I just, it's like that when it comes to something like that, come on, man, you got to have a little foresight. Like Michigan, Ohio State. Why would you book that? Why would you book Super Bowl weekend? Why would Why would you book any kind of NFL playoff? Why would you book anything like that? Why would you book August 29th or whatever when it's 182 degrees outside? In the middle of the sun or whatever. Like, why would you book? Like, come on. Yeah. You got to have a little common sense when you're looking at the calendar. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Gosh.
but not during like we're not having a day. No, there's going to be no games during like NFL playoff seasons. There's not going to be any games during like the Stanley Cup Finals. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, well, and this is the thing: women are going to be really upset because there's a spring league coming, and it's like there's going to be football all year round. So like you're not going to be able to book anything ever again because we're going to be watching football from now until the day we die. No, I'm just kidding. Because
mid-July,
if it even
mid to late July, perfect. Because again, nothing going on.
Yeah.
There it is. NFL, NBA championships are already done. NFL hasn't started yet.
There you go.
Baseball's in the dog days of summer. Nothing going on. We can do it then.
Bada boom, bada bing. All right,
Yeah,
we got another hour to go. Let's get breaking.
I'm exhausted.
I know.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break here. When we get back, we still got lots here to talk about. We'll get into some of the coaching changes that's going on and craziness on that. Also, we got NBA action, NHL action on there as well. So we get here. We'll get back into all this on the flip side. We are DSR2 Studio 57 Radio.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Party people, this is the original Doc Ice, and you are definitely listening to Studio 57 Radio. And if Studio 57 Radio isn't on, then your radio ain't really on. Check that.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Hey everybody, Scrappy here to tell you about That Radio Show. Hang with me as I break down the world of entertainment with great guests, celebrity interviews, awesome games with wonderful prizes. Also, we've got the biggest library of underground hip-hop of any station on the net. You mix in a little stand-up comedy and a text line so your voice can be heard, and you got a pretty good little show. But add listener-controlled programming? Yeah, you heard me. The listener-controlled programming, where you, the listener, can decide what makes it on the air. And now you've got the greatest show ever created. So join my show, your show, our show, the people's show, That Radio Show, each and every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, only here on Studio 57 Radio.
Hey everybody, this is your boy Big D, here to tell you about Mark for Life Tattoos. Guys, this place is the cleanest, most laid-back studio in Metro Detroit, and the artists are top-notch. And if you're like me from the D, you need to stop in on Fridays for that D-Day and get your old English D for only $20. Not interested in tattoos? Mark for Life does body piercings. Mark for Life is located at 22533 Van Dyke in Warren, and the guys are there 7 days a week from noon to 9. So give them a call at 757-2222. That's 586-757-2222. Tell them Studio 57 sent you and get 20% off. So what are you waiting for? Call them now.
Hey everybody, Smokey here to tell you about Allstate Tire. With winter fast approaching, the most important thing between you and the road is your tires. So don't put your safety in just anybody's hands. Go to Allstate Tire. With new and quality used tires available, you can trust Allstate Tire for all your tire needs. You can visit them at 14208 9 Mile Road in Warren, or give them a call at 586-779-8759. Allstate Tire, your source for quality new and used tires.
What's happening, everybody? Scrappy here to tell you about Love and Life Club. Love and Life Club is a social networking club that's located at 19960 James Cousins. That's the Lodge Service Drive between 7 and 8 Mile Road in the D. You need to stop in for $5 Fridays for great music, food, and drinks. I personally recommend the chicken. Love and Life Club is also available for rental for bachelor parties, wedding receptions, or any party for that matter. For more information, log on to www.loveandlifeclub.com. That's loveandlifeclub.com, or call D at 313-999-2824. That's 313-999-2824. That's Love and Life Club. If you love and life, you need to be in the club.
We are taking over this broadcast for the ultimate underground.
Studio 57 Radio Original. You know, when you hear that sound, you're gonna have a good time, because that's the sound of the ultimate underground. live concert webcast from the Detroit area. We go to the most famous, or should I say, infamous venues in the D and bring the underground music scene from the streets to your computer like nobody else can. There's only one catch. You never know when and where the Ultimate Underground is going to take over a broadcast. So you need to stay tuned to Studio 57 Radio all day, every day for clues on when and where the next Ultimate Underground may happen. Now there's no other station on the net that's going to give you this live webcast of some of the hottest artists in the D. That's the Ultimate Underground live on your home for hip-hop, rock and metal, Studio 57 Radio, baby.
Goodbye.
You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets. You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets.
Studio 57 is a 32-track digital recording studio that utilizes Cool Edit, Logic Pro, Shure, AKG, Sennheiser, Yamaha, Korg, Mackie, Boss, Ibanez, Fender, Fruity Loops, and many, many more to make your music pop. Experienced and friendly engineers make Studio 57 feel like you're home away from home. With beat creation, mixing, mastering, digital media conversion, and DJs for any event, Studio 57 Records is your one-stop shop for all your music entertainment needs. We have online bill pay and flexible payment schedules. That makes Studio 57 the place to be. For more information, visit Studio57records.com. That's www.studio57records.com or call us at 586-420-3390. That's 586-420-3390 or log on to Studio57records.com. And just remember one thing, baby.
You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets. You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets.
Party people, this is the original Doc Ice, and you are definitely listening to Studio 57 Radio. And if Studio 57 Radio isn't on, then your radio ain't really on. Check that.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
The Rebels. Oh my goodness. One hell of an NFL weekend. It took up a whole dango hour just to reminisce. It was so damn good. So we got our versions of Pick'ems here coming up. Playoff edition of Pick'ems. And we'll get into some other stuff too. Text lines available to you. Social media, Studio 57 Radio across the board, Studio57Radio.com. And you can find us on Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn, all that fun stuff. And of course, hit us up on our YouTube channel. So let's get into this thing. It is hour 2. So without further ado, let's do the do we do at DSR2. And here is hour 2. I am Scrappy. And here's Johnny the Boots.
Hey, we're back here for the second hour DSR2 on this rather cold and blustery Wednesday here in January in the day. Gay Schmidt, the first hour, we talk all NFL, all the time, playoff action on there. As we said, obviously it could be one of the greatest NFL weekends in the history of the league. And again, 4 games, utterly insane, going down to the last moment, going into overtime or last second field goals on there. How can you not be thoroughly entertained?
I mean, that's what we preach here all the time, right? Entertain me. And if that wasn't entertaining, man, then
If you
just
weren't
don't like
entertained by
sports.
that, then you just don't like. Yeah.
You just don't like sports, man. I don't know what to say. It isn't even about just football. Like, if you're just a sports fan in general, even if you're not a big football guy, you could sit back and go, you know what? That was some entertaining stuff. You can look at that, especially that last game, and go, that's some high-level football. You got to see in 2 games, really, a few games. So, I don't know. Just all-around great weekend. Best in history. I'm probably a little hyperbole in there, but definitely the best in recent history. At least a decade or more since we've seen a weekend like that. And I just don't know where you're going to top it. There could be other like matchups, individuals that could be better or greater than maybe any one of these, but I just don't see where you get a weekend where every game matters and every game came down to a last minute. Every game, it's just every game was a walk-off. It's just amazing. So good stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And hopefully this weekend's just half as good, really.
Yeah.
I mean, just to be honest.
Yeah, if just give me one good game on there. If they're both great, then it'd be fun to watch on there. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to watch on there. But yeah, as we said, it's craziness out there. We got coaching changes and general manager changes. Giants got a new general manager. Bears got a new GM. I think Minnesota's just about wrapped up their new general manager, and it looks like Jacksonville's got a new head coach. Byron Leftwich looks like he's going to be the head coach there for the Jaguars. So he's going back home for the franchise that drafted him and he played for most of his career with. So
I think it's good just because he's going to be a quarterback-centric coach. So I would think that his staff would be, especially for your quarterbacks, coaches, and coordinators, offensive coordinators, would be like-minded.
yes.
So for Trevor Lawrence, this is, I think, a big deal.
Yeah, I think it's a good deal for him because that whole Urban Meyer experiment set him back a year.
Not only did it set him back a year,
It may set him back a couple years.
dude, it had to stunt his
Development.
not only stunt his development, but his love and passion for like the NFL game, right?
Yeah.
Like he just came off of college and everything was great in college. He gets to the NFL and it's a diaper.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, no, I don't want this. So I don't know. So hopefully, I think he's too good and too smart of a young man to have that hold him back. But he's lucky he didn't get injured or something because of some of this nonsense. Yeah. And that could have been a totally different story.
Totally. On there, and we'll see what they can do with the in the draft and everything and free agents wise. Because again, they've got some talent, especially at the receiving and the running back edge on there.
Sure.
They just need offensive line and defense help on there. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, of course, we all knew there. We even said Irvin's going to end up as a disaster on it. But yeah, I mean, the Giants get a new general manager, and of course, the owner's telling him, "Oh, we're going to stick with Danny Dimes, and oh yeah, we're going to build around Daniel Jones." Dude, Daniel Jones is not an NFL quarterback.
No, he isn't.
Dude, you got 2 top 5 or top 10 picks. Time to rebuild on it. Maybe you take with your second pick on there. You need an offensive line because your offensive line's terrible. Right. You need a quarterback because he's terrible. Yep. You better hit it right on the coaching in that. So we'll see in that. The Bears got a new general manager, so that's going to be interesting who they're going to go after for coach-wise on there. Because, they've got to develop their own quarterback with Justin Fields because, he didn't help it with Nagy on there. Yes, his head coach didn't help him out at all.
No. Not at all.
So we'll see what on it. But it's going to be...
and that's the thing, too, though. You have to have the organization around it. They have to nurture that position, I really believe. And since it's so vital to the way the team runs, it's just hard. So, I don't see Chicago. I don't know who the hell they're going to bring in that's going to change that. Like, who's going to change that culture over there?
Oh, God.
Because it doesn't seem to matter who the coach is.
They've never developed a quarterback. They have no offensive line.
So I just don't know who changes that. There's no one guy that you hire that comes in and changes that. I mean, at least not that I know of. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's no. I mean, whatever. I don't see it. I could be wrong, but I don't see it.
Yeah, and then we got Sean Payton stepping down with the Saints in that too. It's just like,
well, that blew me away just because I knew that he kind of had a TV deal waiting there, and it's like kind of like the whole Drew Brees gimmick, but I just didn't think he'd pull it that quick. He might have just said, "Hey, my buddy Breezy looking good. I'm gonna go work with him."
yeah,
And he's, and I don't think he's at the same
he'll
network,
get
but
a $7-10 million gig with Fox. Calling, I mean, with this in the booth with Joe Buck.
well, what's going to happen is because you're going to have the expansion of the TV rights, where all these other entities are going to have the rights to these games, and so they need talent.
Yeah,
They need on-air talent. So there's a lot of guys getting big money to move around. So there's going to be opportunities for everybody. Cats were ready. I mean, didn't they bring in Tirico? So they knew Michaels was leaving.
well, yeah, because
They
that's
brought
why
in Tirico.
That was the whole purpose of that.
So you're going to put,
Tariqa with Collinsworth.
and then you heard Troy Aikman kind of be vocal whiner about not covering certain games. So yeah, when Amazon Prime comes in and throws a shit ton of money at him, he's Gandhi.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else to say.
So we got that. The Colts Ursay basically making his cryptic remarks about whether or not they're going to stick with Carson Wentz or not.
Dude, he's just messing up his own team, man. He's just messing up all his own shit. Like,
He does that all the time.
why
though,
does he
because
shit on himself all the time? That's what he's doing. He's shitting on himself.
He's probably back on his prescriptions.
I mean, yeah, I'm just waiting for him to like show up in a drive-through naked, like high on something, asking for a McCheeseburger.
Well, they're talking about the Bears. Look like
At
they're
a
pretty much
Chick-fil-A.
set. Looks like it's going to be Caldwell maybe with the Bears.
I like that. If there's anybody that can like, hopefully, like, implement the proper structure, like if
He's great Monday through Saturday.
yes,
He needs a little work on his Sunday
His game
games.
management's an issue, but my point is, if you let him
Develop your team,
and kind of just get
change
that
the culture a little bit.
Yeah, I think he can do that. I think he can do something like that and be a stopgap for another
Yes.
coach that is better.
Yes.
Right. So like you bring in Caldwell, he kind of changes this whole losing mentality, he kind of changes this quarterback issue because he's coached great quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You can't deny that.
No.
And he was an OC and a coordinator, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, so he did all that. So to me, I think it's a great idea as long as management is on the same page, as long as ownership allows him to kind of do his thing, and as long as it's with the idea knowing that, game management, he's going to have a few issues here and there, but ultimately, once we kind of get things going the right way, it'll be easier for the Bears to say, hey, we're the Bears and we're winning some games. And if we had a top-notch coach, we could get over the top and we can entice somebody with some money. We've got a little money.
Yeah.
And, but you have to bridge the gap from where they are now to that point. And Caldwell, to me, can you think of another guy that would be better for them offhand that's available? I mean, there's guys that are better. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
But I mean, who's available that would come to Chicago that would be better than him?
I think it's the
from
perfect
just
choice
that
for
position.
that position on there. Gives them a little bit, again, as they said, stability, a calmness on there in the room and everything with it.
Sure.
Good news too. It ends the no Lion head coach never got another head coaching gig, and that takes
Sure.
care of that. So maybe that'll take care of the curse. a
Well,
little bit somehow.
you know what? To me, as far as that whole curse goes, it was just a goddamn travesty in the way the league looks at coaches.
Yes.
It really is. It's. I mean, the Rooney Rule is a goddamn catastrophe
No, it's
in my
a
mind.
joke.
Because you shouldn't even fucking have to have that, for one, and two, it's all bullshit the way they satisfy that
Yes.
horse shit. So, And to me, for Caldwell, it's the same thing with Lovie Smith. I'm still not over that. How do you fire a 10-6 guy? Get you to the playoffs, and you fire him for what you've had since? I mean, we're talking about Chicago, right?
Yeah, wasn't it Treadwell that replaced Lovey? Which was an unmitigated disaster.
Absolutely.
And then his replacement was Nagy, which was an unmitigated disaster.
Right.
Yeah, they're great for the first year, and then once they get their own players, they shit the bed.
Well, it's one of those things where you had talent on the team, and now they just kind of come out and look a little different from a performance perspective. So now all the tape and all the gameplay, all that stuff's out the window from before. And so you have an advantage there, and you steal wins. Yes. That's what happens when you have a first-year coach that comes in and wins. That's what happens. I'm sorry. It's the last guy's talent, and they're coming in and rearranging it a little bit, putting their flair, trying to implement their game plan, and nobody's seen that. So then that first year, they overachieve, as I say. Not necessarily win-win, but overachieve. And that happens a lot. Like, you know, and you got guys that have teams that are suspect. I mean, dude, the guy took Rex effing Grossman to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I mean, and you...
Yeah, they got to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman. Yeah. And, well, yeah.
Who was the other guy that they used?
Kyle Orton.
Kyle Orton and Rex... They were like, by, you know, it was like quarterback by, like, committee. And you were in the Super Bowl with Rex effing Grossman.
Right.
And you're telling me that this guy, you drafted all these horrible quarterbacks and brought in all these horrible quarterbacks, and this guy was able to coach him up, get to a Super Bowl, and then you fire him when he's 10-6? Dude, how dumb are you?
That's the Bears.
And the fact that he doesn't, I mean, maybe he doesn't want a job in the NFL, but the fact that he didn't have another NFL job waiting for him the minute he walked out of there is a travesty.
I think that when he went there, he wanted to take a time off, and now he's at this point like, I'm done coaching, because he had
not at this point.
He had a couple seasons there at the University of Illinois. But I think his kid was playing for them or something.
Is that why he went there? Okay, because I was thinking, I know he took a college job like a year later, and I'm thinking the fact that he didn't have people like trying to kick in his door after that it's just.
Yeah, he
disgusting.
won a damn Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator with Tampa Bay.
Right.
Honor. And of course,
he took that horrible team that really only had like two or three guys, to the Super Bowl. They didn't have a quarterback. You know, if you got two...
Great defense, good running back on there, but that was it.
Yeah, he had Devin Hester was a big gimmick for him.
And
you had...
the running back that was out of Tulane was with them. But yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. But that whole, in the carousel, you'll watch. You'll see. There'll be guys that get coaching jobs that have no business having coaching jobs. I mean, look at the Giants. How does Joe Judge get a job over some of these other cats?
Oh, my God.
It'll never make sense to me.
The Giants, I mean, as much as we bitch about our Lions and everything with it, the Giants seem to be totally worse off situation than we are.
Oh, yeah.
They're in salary cap. They're bad with the salary cap. They have no quarterback. They have no, I mean, I don't know. I don't see what the hell's going on there with that. So, but yeah. What was their running back? That Bear team, come on. Oh, whatever. My computer just went.
Your computer just took a dump ski.
Yep. But yeah, it was like, Devin Hester was a rookie that season with them. So yeah. But yeah, it was interesting on it. But yeah, I mean, it just how he does not get into it. It was just, let's see, where's the running backs? Was that Tom? No, it wasn't Thomas Jones. It was after. But yeah, it was on it. But yeah, it was just how he doesn't get it on there. It's just like, but you see these these teams out there that are bringing guys in and just like on it. Ravens got rid of Wink Martindale as their defensive coordinator. It looks like they're going to try to poach Michigan's defensive coordinator Mike McDonald and bring him back to Baltimore. He got his year in as a DC, and now he's going to go back to the NFL. Which again, I don't blame him.
All right. No, not at all.
He's an NFL guy. He wants basically to be an NFL coach, and with that. And then we got Antonio Brown losing getting even more so of his freaking mind. Burning more bridges down. Basically, his little meme out there he took on there. Oh, Bucs got eliminated. Now he's going to file a lawsuit against the Buccaneers because they got rid of him because he was injured. But you didn't look injured when you're dancing off the field. They act like a fool.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, go ahead, sue. Go see what happens. Hope you got a lot of money for your attorney and their attorneys because they're going to win that case.
Oh, no doubt. Unbelievable.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting on there with the coaches on who's going to get coached out. And again, I think Bieniemy's going to get a coaching gig. There were Kansas City, but again, he's not going to leave till after the Chiefs are done. And it's like we said, I like the Leftwich going to Jacksonville on there. They're talking too is Harbaugh goes to the NFL. Who's going to come back here? There's going to be some guys out there that may just come in with they may move up Gaddis. I heard Matt Rule with Carolina may want to go back to college on there. Who had really good success with Baylor, so we'll see about that as well. But first of all, I don't see Harbaugh leaving me because again, I think all the hoopla is on there is just started by his agent.
Yeah, it's testing the waters. It's seeing what's out there. It's everything but real. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, if he got the right deal, but do you think someone's beating down his door? And I'm not saying that that's not going to change, but I just don't see him going anywhere right away. Every time there's any kind of carousel, his name's going to get brought up. This is just what we're going to have to deal with. Yeah. But, like, realistically, who's dealing with Harbaugh right now?
Nobody.
I mean, he just burns everybody out.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, whereas his brother, John, just got a new extension there with
Yeah, because they're polar opposites.
Oh, yeah, and they said that too when Harbaugh got hired in at Baltimore. He's like basically very cerebral, calm, collective on there, and he basically tries to outthink guys out there, and he brings stability. And again, look at Baltimore; they're one of the more stable franchises out there. And he made the rate changes too on the fly. Flacco wasn't the answer. They basically the owner says you're drafting Lamar Jackson or else draft him. It's like okay, we're gonna start. You know what? I don't care if we got to play a single wing offense. We're going to put Jackson in and go from there.
Right.
The dire horses, and they get to the playoffs. Now, if Lamar Jackson doesn't get hurt this year, they're in the playoffs again.
Yeah, sure.
Pittsburgh's not in. Baltimore will be in.
Right.
So, yeah. But, I mean, again, Baltimore just needs basically is Lamar Jackson's got to learn to get past the ball. Baltimore's problem is they never draft a decent freaking wide receiver. Let's go with these fast guys out there. Dude, what you need is like a 6'2 to 6'5 receiver who can just flat out run a good route and catch the freaking ball.
Right.
Hollywood Brown is not a viable number one receiver. No.
No.
You haven't had a number one receiver since you had that year when you had Steve Smith and before that Anquan Bolden.
Right.
So. With that. And then we got NBA action on there. Lakers are trying to get Jeremy Grant, but they're offering us like 2030 draft picks.
They're just desperate. They think they can fleece somebody. They're just trying to pull something out of their ass. They have nothing to work with.
No.
They're not. They shouldn't even be relevant in.
They're not. They're
any dealings,
they're
really.
8th place in the West.
Well, I know that, but I'm just talking about any kind of free agency dealings or trades.
You know how bad it is when you're signing
relevant.
Stanley Johnson to a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
Dude, Stanley Johnson was a bust.
They have nothing to go with.
He's terrible.
Yeah.
And you sign him?
But they don't have anything, and they don't have anything to work with, so they just, whoever they can get at whatever money they got left over. I mean,
yeah.
It's a mess. But this is the team LeBron picked, man.
Brooklyn's a mess.
Mm-hmm. Well, Brooklyn's a mess for 1,000,001 reasons, but you know, I mean, let's be real about the Brooklyn situation. If I'm Harden, I am at that I was at that situation. I was at that point where, look, I've got everything I want here in Houston except for a championship.
Right.
And we can't get over the top. We can't get over the hump. And I want to win a championship. So I'm going to get with my buddies who I played with in the Olympics or whatever, and we're gonna form a super team.
Right.
And then you get there in pandemic season. I mean, let's be real. He made the move during the pandemic, and New York is restricted in probably more than anywhere in the country. And he went from a place like Houston where that was probably one of the more open places in the entire country. And so your lifestyle is completely different. And okay, so check it out. You lived 30 minutes from the stadium. You had a giant mansion that on a huge acreage that you paid barely anything for, comparatively speaking, when you're talking about New York kind of money. Then you have all the freedoms to do whatever you want throughout the state and all that stuff. No state taxes on your thing. Like, you're living large. You got everything that you kind of want from that aspect, but you're just not winning. So I'm going to give up all those things just to win. And I'm going to come to New York where I'm going to pay a state tax. It's going to be high. It's going to cost me 3 times as much, and I'm going to have to go to Long Island, which is like 45 minutes, an hour away.
Or live in Jersey.
Yeah, to get like what I want surrounding me. And now I got to make this commute. And then I got to do it during a pandemic with all these restrictions and during this shitty weather, which I had beautiful weather down south. Yeah. And I'm doing all that to come in, and this asshole won't get a damn shot. I'm inconvenienced. I've done all this stuff.
Right. I
gave up all this stuff, and your sorry ass won't get the same shot that I've got. You don't think that's a effing problem in the locker room?
Oh, God, yes.
You don't think that's been evident over the way Harden's act? When has Harden ever been this aggressive with media and whatever when being asked questions and this defense? When has he ever been like that throughout his career?
He's never been like that.
Dude, he's not. He's pretty quiet.
He's pretty affable about getting along with everybody with it.
And you heard his comments today, right? Or yesterday, right? I mean, when they started asking him about how, and he was all chippy. And dude, I'm telling you, he's not happy with his living situation. He's not happy with his travel situation. He's not happy with the financial differences and the temperature, all that shit, all the little stuff. He's away from probably where his family would prefer to be. And this asshole, they're bending over backwards to get this guy to come in part-time because he won't get a fucking shot that I fucking got. And then now you're asking me to shoulder the burden. That's why I left the last place.
Because I didn't want to be.
Because I didn't want to shoulder the. I don't mind helping carry. I don't mind being one of the pallbearers. I don't want to carry the casket on my back by myself. Right. And that's what it boils down to.
I can't do everything.
And
that's
dude,
what they're asking.
So he's getting hit with all of that. And I don't know, man. It's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. If I'm him, if I'm Harden, I'm mad. And I'm frustrated you're not winning.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you're only a game out, but that's because the East is that bad. And what are you going to do against some of these better teams, come playoff time? And then you still got to contend with the West at some point if you want to win a championship. So I feel where he's coming from, and I get it. And if you don't think that that's part of what's going on there, if not a big part of it, maybe all of it, you don't think other people in the locker room feel that way?
Oh, I feel there's tons of people in that locker room. I bet you Durant feels that way, and he just doesn't say anything.
So it just feels like there's so much going on there, and so many reasons for this locker room to not really stick together or overcome anything, or just I don't know, man. It just feels like there's a lot of that, and I just don't know where that. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna fix that, but Brooklyn's a hot mess there, But This is what happens when you come out and kind of like anoint a team something before they ever win anything. Just because it looks
Right.
good on paper.
Yeah.
Because if we don't anoint them and we don't have these super high expectations, is this a conversation that they're one game out of first? It's really not.
No.
But
it's
but
way-
when we come out here and they come out here themselves, even in media, and everybody collectively goes, "Oh, look at this on paper; it should be great," and we all get our hopes up for something that you didn't count these other variables into the situation.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, in a COVID world, and we do the COVID, and it sucks and blah blah blah. But in a COVID world, you just don't know what's going to happen. There's too many intangibles. So that's, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we look at all this on there, and because we look at our the Pistons here, at least locally, and they're just like
They're terrible.
they're terrible. We got really Cade, and that's it.
I feel like they're being terrible on purpose, because they could at least be entertaining, like at one point, and then all of a sudden that kind of went away.
Yeah,
And so I don't know what it is exactly, because we don't really
they
expect
don't play.
them to
They
win.
play terrible defense, and they're small.
Right? Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, as good as Cade Cunningham's playing on there, and again, don't want to hear about, oh, we should have took Jalen Green. Well, look at the two playing now. The differences. Cade's out playing Jalen Green, and it's not even close.
Yep.
I mean, the only other one down there you may want to look at taking instead of Cade would have been Evan Mobley, who's having a good, really nice year as well.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, dude had 34 points the other night on there.
Right.
Yeah, it's not even close. So, with it, but yeah, you look at the Pistons wise. Again, this might be a year too because the draft. I mean, if we can get a lottery pick on there and a top 5 pick on there, there's some decent guys out there, bigger guys that'll help this team. So we'll see
Sure.
on there. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we want to trade Jeremy Grant, but trade him now because he's still got a year left on that deal, and of course now he wants to re-sign up. And I'm going, dude, they're not signing you to a max deal. It ain't happening.
No.
No, they signed you because it was economically friendly and they could trade you for something.
Sure.
But well, let's see who wants them and what are they going to give us?
Right. Yeah. Well, that's one of those things where there's just so many things got to kind of fall into place to make it work. So,
But I'm not giving you like for a 2030 draft pick and garbage.
no, that's the key is like, I'll just sit on the guy if that's going to be the case. You know, it's like one of those things. It's like when you take your truck in to get it, you trade it in. If they're not going to give you what it's worth really, then you might as well just, for that price, I'll just keep it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying, you know. So that's kind of the situation with this. It's like if you don't have anything to offer me, then I'll just keep them here and we'll just keep it moving. I just thought y'all were serious about doing a deal, you know. That's how I would approach it. But you know, this team the ownership is just horrid, and they just don't ever put the right people in place.
No.
And even if they kind of do in some places, they just can't make up for all the other problems, and then they're out of here before any change could ever be affected.
This team's not going to get any better until Gore sells the team.
Yeah. It's a very similar situation that we have with the Lions, where you'll have those moments where you'll be like, oh, yeah, they're kind of fun, or they're getting better, or, ooh, they got a hot pick, or whatever the case may be. But beyond that, that's about all you're looking at until ownership really just sells, because they just don't have the acumen to bring in the necessary staffing, no matter what part of the team you're looking at from any level. They just can't. Some people can't evaluate that stuff. It's one thing to not be able to evaluate football talent because you're not a football guy, but you should be able to evaluate talent, corporate talent. If you're a corporate guy, if you run this kind of business, you should be able to evaluate talent in that respect, and they just have not been able to do that. And I know it's a little bit harder when you're talking about sports, but it's not that big a deal. Let's be real here. But we're going to be in purgatory here for a while. with these two teams, and that's unfortunate because, like I said, as great as Bills Mafia is of a fan base, Detroit's in the ballpark there.
Oh yeah,
and it's unfortunate that the Detroit fan base has been tortured for so long, and looks like it'll just continue now, even with the Pistons. So we'll see what happens with the Tigers, but the Red Wings at least are trending in the right direction. So
yeah.
we'll see.
We'll see on that. I mean, we'll see on there. Yeah, right now is they're out of the playoffs on there, and they're kind of faltering a little bit. But we'll see what the Wings do. They may make some trades and everything with it, and on there. But again, yeah, we'll see on it. But we see some pluses on there, so we'll get into that on there. And then right now, it's like as we said, it's like in basketball, freaking Miami's now top of the East.
Yeah. Well, we talked about Chicago last time?
Yeah.
It's a wild, wild world. That's what I'm saying about the East. Like, that's what's so frustrating about Brooklyn not being up 4 games in the East, because look what the East has to offer in a lot of cases. It's just it's all over the place. But this is the Miami we saw in during the bubble, kind of, right? Like, they were a contender. They were a good team. So maybe they can get back to playing like that, and we'll see. I like it. Like, I get that you're going to have, it's going to be top heavy probably in both conferences when you start looking at, like, the teams that get into the playoff, the top 4 teams. I just don't see how they get bumped per se, unless you have, like, injuries or whatever. But or you had injuries all through the year and now everybody's back kind of situation, like accentuate, certain circumstances that kind of deem that. But I mean, but I like the more teams we get going on in the playoffs or in these conferences. So, like, bring it on. If you're going to have Miami, Chicago, Philly, Brooklyn, Cleveland, Milwaukee, I just ripped off 6 teams in the East that are all like viable options for that conference there. That's nice. That's nice for basketball. That's getting to football level parity. And then you want to be able to do that in the West, and then you want to be able to have the East and West be able to compete with each other. So they're a little bit ways from that, but it just feels like as the talent pool rises in the league, because let's be honest, the talent, though you don't have some of the individual greatest players ever, well, we do, I guess, in Steph Curry and some of these other guys as far as pure shooters or whatever, but it's just like the overall talent pool is so good. Like, I know but you have big threes on like 4 different teams if you want, 5 different teams. Like, there's so many good players out there, and you can still have other teams that'll win and contend and whatever. So, like, I just feel like the NBA talent pool is just deep as it's ever been, and that's what's contributing to this parity in the way. And the East is a perfect example of that, and I love it. The disappointment in the East is Boston.
Yeah,
I mean, what the hell happened to them? And I mean, and I say that off of Tatum just going off on somebody for like 49 the other night, but
him and Jaylen Brown just can't coexist or something.
They just can't get it all together over there, man. Because, like, remember we would talk about Boston like being the team to like knock fools off.
Yes,
to come in and knock fools off. Like, y'all are underestimating this scrappy team.
It's like Danny Ainge almost did. He had to do too much on there and didn't do on there.
Yeah, we used to talk about his wizardry and how
like leprechaun. But again, now he looks on and it's like, dude, you did all these trades and do all this, but then you squandered them all.
Yep.
Except for Brown and Tatum.
Right.
They just weren't on there, and it just, I don't know, it's just not working.
Nope.
Yeah, we'll give you Jeremy Grant for Brown or Tatum.
Sure.
Sure.
We'll do a Tatum Grant straight up.
Hell, we'll even give you Bay or Kelly or Olynyk.
Whatever we need to throw in to kind of make the contract work.
Yes. Well, get it. No, Tatum is cheap. He's still on his rookie deal.
Yeah, see? So there you go.
There we go.
Oh, man. throw in some cash or something if
Oh
we
my
have
God,
to.
can you imagine Tatum here with Cade? Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, at least it'd be entertaining. I don't think we would win a ton of games, but they would, just their pure talent alone. It would be kind of like the Grant Hill, Jerry Stackhouse days,
Yes.
where they didn't really win anything, but they were pretty fun to watch.
Right.
And every once in a while, you'd be like, "Damn!" They go on a run and like beat some teams.
You
and
see
you'd be
these moments on there, especially like with Grant. You go, "Damn!" I mean, like a couple times when we went out and played the Lakers, and Grant Hill just goes off. You go, "Jesus, where the hell did that go?"
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too. Yep. So, yeah, it's one of those things, but we'll see. The Hall of Fame, MLB Hall of Fame, guys. It's the Hall of Popularity. I don't want to hear it. Okay. This sport has never had any integrity. If you're going to put asterisk next to steroid boys, and just put a big asterisk next on the building, just put it on the whole building, because everybody cheated throughout the entire time. The league didn't even bother to try forever. You could never identify everybody that ever was, and your hero was a cheater more than likely. And just shut up with this nonsense. Yeah. Just stop. Just let them, whoever in. And to be honest with you, all it is whoever sucked enough media ass while they were a player. That ratio of ass sucking to play quality, when that ratio mix is perfect, you get in the Hall of Fame, and that's all there is to the MLB Hall of Fame, and I will hear nothing else of the nonsense.
Well, you got to kiss the Raiders' ass, and you have to play on the East Coast or St. Louis. Plain and simple.
I'm sure okay. I mean,
look at. I mean, why isn't Lou Whitaker in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, like I said, you're asking me to explain why there's no integrity in a sport that's never ever displayed integrity. I can't tell you why. Because they just don't. They don't have it.
Yeah, Lou Whitaker's numbers out there compared to some of the guys that are in there are just as good or even better. Yeah. Plus 15 years with the best double play combination, the longest on the ML. And again, it took a veterans committee for Alan Trammell to even get in.
Yeah, so I'm not even hearing that baseball Hall of Fame nonsense. It's just silly.
Again, they keep talking again. Otherwise, we're going to be it's baseball and on there. And again, I don't want to hear about Kurt Schilling. Dude, Kurt Schilling had a couple really great postseason runs and was a good pitcher, but he didn't have a Hall of Fame career. 216 wins is not a Hall of Fame career. He's not Sandy Koufax. He wasn't 216 and 50. He was like 216 and 160.
Right.
Or 170. Nice career. Good career. Great pitcher when it came down to the playoffs. But, dude, he's not a Hall of Fame. Plus, he's a piece of shit as a human being.
Well, that's the other part of this. Like, it goes right into that, what I just said. So, it is what it flipping is.
And again, deal with it down there. Again, it's like, I mean, again, baseball is, again, as we said, they have no integrity whatsoever because, again, and don't give me, they cheated. They knew they cheated.
Oh, yeah.
They've embraced down there. Trust me. How you not know these guys were cheating on it? They didn't care.
No, they didn't. And
so Congress got involved and we're going to take away their antitrust. They didn't. Then they're like, we got to care.
Yeah. It's really kind of that simple, to be honest. So, anyway, guess what? Oh, not that one. This one. We have the playoff audition.
So, we only got two games.
We only got two to pick, so that's why it's so late here in the game. So, I appreciate everybody hanging out with us to the end here to get to your pick'ems. There is definitely some interesting lines out there for gambling and fun stuff, so I hope you guys are enjoying all that. We'll get into prop bets and Super Bowl stuff when we get closer, but this is as good and as fun as any of that stuff after an action-packed weekend in the NFL. What do they have for us this weekend, Moose?
Well, we've got two games on there on Sunday, so Sunday on there. Starting at 3 o'clock on CBS, we've got the Cincinnati Bengals are on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs for the AFC Championship. So it's at Arrowhead on there. Your Kansas City Chiefs are a 7-point favorite. Over-under is 54.5.
Oh, man.
On there. So it's a little bit high on this one. I think Kansas City's going to win this one. I don't think they're covering. I don't think they win by 7. I think it's going to be a 3 to 4 point game tops.
Right.
On this one, on it. And again, remember, both of these teams are going to be matched up pretty good on there. Again, if you look at quarterback-wise, Mahomes versus Burrows, Mahomes a little bit more, got obviously more of a veteran on there. On it, you got on there. Jamar Chase versus, it's going to be a good game on there. But I'd say take Cincinnati in the points, but I think Kansas City wins.
I'm with you. I think it's going to be a super fun game, back and forth. I think it'll be a single possession, 1-score game. I'm with you on that. It could be a scary game, to be honest with you. It could turn into, it could be a back and forth. It could be a close one, a nail biter. I mean, this one could go anywhere and everywhere, but I just don't see it being a blowout in any way, shape, or form. The 54, I think I'm taking the over, to be quite honest.
Oh, God, yes.
So that shouldn't be an issue. But it is one of those games where I feel like it could kind of end up anywhere. But if I had to put my money down, it would definitely be on the over. And same thing, I'm not putting any money on the points. But I'll take KC because I'm still in line for my Scrappy Damas. I'm still alive. I've got KC alive, and I've got another team alive. So I'm going to stick to my Scrappy Damas in hopes that I get a Scrappy Damas. That'll be second time in the 12 years we've been doing this damn show. But it's I like KC in this situation unless something goofy happens with like a freak injury or something during the game that changes the way things roll. I don't know, but I'm with you.
All right, so we got the late game on Fox that's starting at 6:30 at SoFi in Inglewood, California. You got the San Francisco 49ers versus the LA Rams. Rams are favored by 3.5. Over under is 46 on this one. I think the Rams are going to win this one. I know they're 0-2 against the Niners this year, but I think the third time's a charm.
Yeah.
On this one with it, so yeah, I think the Rams pull this one out.
Well, and that's my whole thing too. It is really, really hard to beat a good team three times. It's just hard, and so the Rams have been kind of trying to figure things out and have had some stumbling along the way. And I'm not taking anything away from the Niners because we just shoot, man, we just put them over for 20 minutes earlier today. So like that's not the case at all. It's just too much firepower from every aspect of the game. I fully imagine that Akers will be working every minute of every day for the rest.
Putting two hands on the ball at all times.
I think he will have. If nothing else, if I am the Rams, I have Tiki Barber reach out to Akers and have that conversation about how to tuck that elbow in with the point of the football.
Yes.
And bring that into the center of closer to the center of your numbers there. Because if you remember Tiki Barber, who is like probably the Giants' greatest running back, he got a case of the fumbles.
Yes. Oh, he saw his beginning of his career. That's all he did was
and it was one of those things where it's like, dude, is this guy gonna make it? And he turned out to be probably arguably the Giants' best running back ever.
Yes.
And it's because of the way he just changed the way he handled the ball a little bit. And that would be the first guy I call. And I'd be like, hey, Tiki, just reach out to him. Show him a couple things. Dude, I'll throw you a consultant fee. Like, just throw him a couple things.
Or bring Marshall Faulk back in and tell him here's right, because Marshall Faulk never fumbled.
Yes, but that's like bringing in Jordan and trying to have him teach somebody how to dunk. You know what I'm saying? You can't have Jordan come in and teach the slam dunk
you need somebody that can't dunk and just learn how to dunk.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Because he's just going to be like, just do this and do like...
And I think the 3.5 is right where it should be on there. It's just, but it's that half point. It's that hell thing scenario. So
that's what they want to get you with. That's the hook.
Yes.
That's the hook. It always gets you, man.
I think the Rams win this one. I think they cover. I think they're going to win by 4 on there in the over-under. But, yeah, I think the Rams are going to win this one with it. I think, again, as we said, is trying to beat a team 3 times in a row on there in a single season is too damn tough on there.
Yeah.
And, again, the way the Rams were able to protect Stafford most part of the game because he was only sacked twice on there. If they can keep that on there, I think the Rams are going to win this one.
Exactly. This is the whole thing. Don't fumble the ball and you win this game.
Yes.
Don't turn it over. You win this game. I think the way you can prevent the turnovers, just, they're going to have some ball possession kind of drives when you can. And to be honest with you, the Niners are pretty beat up.
Yes.
And if things keep going the way they've been going for them, I just don't know that they're going to win that war of attrition. I think in the end, that's going to be the issue here. These guys are just battle torn, and there's just too many injuries to overcome as far as guys even the guys you have on the field are not at capacity. So, I mean, Garoppolo's injured. Bosa's not, he just got his head knocked off, a week ago. So, these guys are beat up. You got other guys out. I just, I applaud them because that's what we were just talking about, how he's just been able to just make it work. And I applaud them for being able to do that. But this is the buzzsaw that cuts the tree down.
Yes.
And they've been doing really good, but it ends here.
Yep.
To be honest with you, if any game has a chance to be lopsided, it's this one.
Oh, this could get away real quick on there,
You
especially
know.
with Garoppolo hurt on it.
So-
And I think they're going to cover, obviously, they're going
Yeah.
to put some definitely coverage on Kittle
Yeah,
and
sure.
Deebo Samuel on there. So you can definitely have Ramsey probably coming Samuel the whole time.
Yeah.
And they'll get on there. Von Miller has looked much better in these playoffs on there. And Aaron Donald is looking
That
like
Ramsey
a monster.
Samuel matchup's going to be fun to watch, I think.
Yes.
And
And
then,
I don't know if anybody on Frisco can cover Cooper Kupp.
No, nobody can. And if your running game can, that was just the yips. It was just one game. Your running game can maintain the football and continue to move the way they were. I don't know. They just kind of have it all. They got two, couple of good options at receiver. You got two options of running the ball. You got a quarterback that's firing on all cylinders. You got a defense that's got its own two-headed monster over there. There's a lot of things to like about the Rams, and I'm going with my Scrappy Damas prediction from before.
From back in
From
September.
the preseason, yep, from our preseason gimmick there. I have KC and the Rams in the Super Bowl. If I can get a clean sweep this weekend, history repeats itself for the first time ever. And the Scrappy Damas thing will never go away. I will be a total asshole all next year. I will be insufferable ass all next season. Because that's crazy.
Yeah.
The only thing is we didn't do the score gimmick this year like we did years past, but I almost hit the score on that one, and that's why it became the Scrappy Damas from the Harbaugh Bowl, and it was just a joke. And we've been trying to like gimmick up our picks with the whole thing. But if I do it again, it's sometimes it's just not always luck, man. Sometimes you're just that damn good. And that's the insufferable bastard you'll have next season when we're doing our pick'ems. Just so you know.
There we go.
There we go. Another episode of pick'ems, and then we only really have one final one.
Yeah.
And but we'll take a little time off, and because we got a little gap in between, right? How are they doing it this year, Moose? Give it to me. Lay it out for the layman's that don't know. How are they like doing this whole game? We got a full week off, right? That's it? Just 1 week off?
No, 2 weeks.
2 weeks off, right?
Because Super Bowl is February 13th. So
Because you got the Pro Bowl in there, right?
Oh, yeah.
I just laying it out for everybody.
Yeah,
I just
Pro Bowl is next weekend. We won't even discuss that because it's the Pro Bowl.
Right.
And then Valentine's Day weekend on there is essentially the Super Bowl. So guys, you better take your girlfriend out on Friday or Saturday because Sunday you ain't taking them out on the 13th, and Monday you're gonna be all hungover. So you better take them out early on there and keep them happy.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting go around for all the all of us, the football loving men in this country. It's gonna be interesting.
Yes, absolutely.
Interesting maneuvering. So anyway, totally cool stuff though. So next week we'll get into that, and then I get bummed out that the NFL. I mean, this is the part that tears me up, Moose. Right? Because that was my very favoriteest weekend was last weekend, and this particular weekend this year proved me to be like right spot on about why I like that. But it also brings upon sadness because we're getting so close. You just described something that is very sad to me, and that is the end of the football season. And we only have 3 games left. It's like, oh. It's kind of like when you had vacation and you're like getting to the, Christmas break when you were a kid, and then you're like, oh.
It's great. New Year's Day. Oh, great. I got to go back to school the next day. This sucks.
Yeah, it's like I'm going back at
I'm going to be tired because I'm going to be watching college football all damn day. And then I got to get up early and go to school. This is bullshit.
Yes, and that's exactly what it's going to feel like after the Super Bowl. The same exact thing. It's the same exact feeling. It brings us right back to that same exact place because that's the time and place and era where we fell in love with football. Is it not, Moose? When we were young.
Yes,
growing
absolutely.
up. And so it all ties. It all comes together. So, I mean, I don't know what to say. It'll be fun. It'll be exciting. I'm super pumped for it. I can't wait. We'll get back here next week. We'll gab about it. It'll be awesome. We'll get all ready. We'll have a few weeks to kind of build, or a couple of weeks to kind of build up to the Super Bowl as we usually do here on the show anyway. But it's going to make me sad all at the same time. So, hopefully, as the NBA starting to pick up here, we'll have plenty to chit chat about.
Basketball too going on.
And March Madness isn't far away, so no need to be too sad, boys and girls. We have plenty of debauchery to get into. Maybe we'll come up with some more fun games, some more interactive stuff to get you guys involved. You guys really seem to like that stuff. We got March Madness, so maybe we'll get Karen from accounting's bracket in here, and we'll have some goofy fun with that. There's just so many possibilities. So please beyond the Super Bowl season, I know we're NFL centric, but we love sports all the way around, and we are goofy, we are silly, and we will continue to bring you what you want. So get in on the convo, follow us on social media. We love you guys. Be good to each other. We'll see you next week.
Peace out, brothers.
Peace.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.